Hello, my dear English learners. My name is Tara, and I'm truly happy that you are here with me today. Before we begin, I want you to take a moment and gently reflect on something. When you are in a situation where you could speak English, what do you actually do? Do you step forward and speak, or do you pause, hesitate, and hold yourself back? Because for many learners, the challenge is not a lack of vocabulary or grammar. It is something much deeper. It is the quiet fear of being heard. The hesitation that appears just before you speak. The thought that says, "What if I say something wrong?" And you might recognize this feeling. You know what you want to say. You have the sentence in your mind. But when the moment comes, your voice doesn't follow. Instead, you stay silent, not because you cannot speak, but because something inside you is holding you back. And you might wonder, why does this happen to me? I have been learning English for so long. So why do I still feel shy when I speak? And I want you to know this. There is nothing wrong with you. This is not just a language problem. It is a human experience. Because speaking a new language is not just about words. It is about confidence. It is about vulnerability. It is about allowing yourself to be imperfect in front of others. And that can feel uncomfortable. So what do most learners do? They wait. They tell themselves, "I'll speak when I feel more confident. I'll speak when I'm ready." But here's the truth I want you to hear today. Confidence does not come before speaking. It comes through speaking. It is built in small moments. Moments where you choose to speak, even when your voice feels unsure. And I understand how difficult that can feel, because I have seen so many learners go through this stage. In fact, today, I want you to hear from someone who experienced this very deeply. Her name is Sarah. She is from France, and for a long time, she struggled with shyness when speaking English. Her story is not about perfect English. It is about finding the courage to speak. And as you listen to her, you might find parts of her journey reflecting your own. So take a breath, relax, and listen. Sarah, over to you.
Thank you, Tara. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah, and I'm from France. I want to be very honest with you about my journey because I know many of you might feel the same way. For a long time, I was extremely shy when it came to speaking English, not because I didn't learn it, but because I couldn't use it when it mattered. I studied English in school, I understood grammar, I could read quite well, and I could follow conversations when I listened. On the surface, it looked like I knew English, but when it was time to speak, everything changed. I remember very clearly being in situations where someone would ask me a simple question in English, nothing difficult, just a normal question, and I knew the answer. I knew exactly what I wanted to say, but I just couldn't say it. My heart would start beating faster, my hands would feel tense, and suddenly my mind would go completely blank. In that moment, all I could hear were my own thoughts. What if I say it wrong? What if they don't understand me? What if they laugh? And instead of trying, I would just smile politely and stay silent. This didn't happen just once. It happened again and again. In class, during group discussions, even in casual conversations with friends. Each time, I chose silence. And slowly, without even realizing it, I started believing something about myself. I started thinking, maybe I'm not good at speaking. Maybe English is just not for me. And that feeling was very heavy. Because deep inside, I really wanted to speak. I wanted to express my thoughts, to be part of conversations, to feel confident. But I didn't feel brave enough. Then, one day, something changed. I found this kind of practice. It wasn't complicated, it wasn't stressful, it was simple, just listening and repeating. At first, even that felt uncomfortable. Speaking out loud, even when I was alone, made me feel a little shy. But there was something different about it. It felt safe. There was no one judging me, no pressure to be perfect. So I decided to continue, just a few minutes every day. And slowly, something started to change. I became more familiar with the sounds of English. My mouth began to feel more comfortable forming words. And most importantly, I stopped being afraid of my own voice. I wasn't perfect, and I still made mistakes, but I was speaking, and that changed everything. Because once you start speaking, even in a small way, something shifts inside you. So if you are feeling shy right now, if your voice feels small, or if you often choose to stay quiet even when you want to speak, I truly understand how that feels. I have been there. But I also want you to know this: you don't have to stay there. You can start small, just speak a little, even if it feels uncomfortable at first, because your voice matters, and your voice deserves to be heard. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That was truly powerful. And dear listeners, I hope you were able to see a part of yourself in her story, because so many learners experience the same feelings and struggles. Now, let's gently shift our focus to what you can do from here. You do not need to suddenly become confident, and you do not need to speak perfectly. What matters is that you begin. That is exactly why we use shadowing English speaking practice. It is a simple method that helps remove fear and reduces the pressure of thinking too much. You do not have to create sentences or search for the right words. You simply listen and repeat. And slowly, as you continue, you begin to feel more comfortable hearing your own voice. That is the first step. Not fluency, not perfection, but comfort. So today we will practice 20 sentences together. They are simple, natural, and there is no pressure at all. First, just listen carefully, and then repeat after me, out loud. And remember, it is completely okay if you feel shy. Just speak anyway. All right, let's begin your English speaking practice with shadowing. I feel shy sometimes, but I still choose to speak. I feel shy sometimes, but I still choose to speak. I feel shy sometimes, but I still choose to speak. Excellent. Speak out loud with me. My voice matters, even if it is not perfect. My voice matters, even if it is not perfect. My voice matters, even if it is not perfect. Amazing. I allow myself to speak without fear. I allow myself to speak without fear. I allow myself to speak without fear. Brilliant. You're doing great. I am learning to express my thoughts clearly. I am learning to express my thoughts clearly. I am learning to express my thoughts clearly. Nice. Let's continue. I don't need to be perfect to be understood. I don't need to be perfect to be understood. I don't need to be perfect to be understood. Awesome. I speak slowly and give myself time to think. I speak slowly and give myself time to think. I speak slowly and give myself time to think. Amazing. Don't give up. I am becoming more confident each day. I am becoming more confident each day. I am becoming more confident each day. Brilliant. Let's continue. I am not afraid of making small mistakes. I am not afraid of making small mistakes. I am not afraid of making small mistakes. Awesome. I trust myself when I speak English. I trust myself when I speak English. I trust myself when I speak English. Excellent. I am improving with every sentence I say. I am improving with every sentence I say. I am improving with every sentence I say. Awesome. Let's continue. Shyness is not a weakness. It is just a moment before courage appears. Shyness is not a weakness. It is just a moment before courage appears. Shyness is not a weakness. It is just a moment before courage appears. Silence feels safe, but speaking helps me grow. Silence feels safe, but speaking helps me grow. Silence feels safe, but speaking helps me grow. Brilliant. My voice will grow stronger with daily practice. My voice will grow stronger with daily practice. My voice will grow stronger with daily practice. Nice. Every time I choose to speak, I am stepping beyond my comfort zone. Every time I choose to speak, I am stepping beyond my comfort zone. Every time I choose to speak, I am stepping beyond my comfort zone. Brilliant work. Don't give up. You're doing great. Each sentence I speak is a small act of bravery. Each sentence I speak is a small act of bravery. Each sentence I speak is a small act of bravery. I don't need to be loud to be heard. I don't need to be loud to be heard. I don't need to be loud to be heard. Excellent. My quiet voice still carries my thoughts. My quiet voice still carries my thoughts. My quiet voice still carries my thoughts. I speak even when my confidence is still catching up. I speak even when my confidence is still catching up. I speak even when my confidence is still catching up. Amazing work! Shyness fades a little each time I use my voice. Shyness fades a little each time I use my voice. Shyness fades a little each time I use my voice. Excellent. I speak a little today and that is enough. I speak a little today and that is enough. I speak a little today and that is enough. Wow! Amazing work! You did so well. All right, take a moment and just sit with this. Notice what you did today. You spoke. And that might sound simple, but for someone who feels shy, that is not a small thing. Because shyness is not just about being quiet. It is often your mind trying to protect you. It is that inner voice saying, stay safe, don't make a mistake, don't be judged. And the more you listen to that voice, the stronger it becomes. The more you avoid speaking, the more your brain starts believing that speaking is something to fear. But today you did something different. You spoke anyway. And when you do that, even in a small way, you send a new message to your mind. You tell it, "This is safe. I can do this." That is how change begins. Not by removing fear completely, but by acting gently in spite of it. So if you still feel shy, that is completely okay. Do not fight that feeling and do not judge yourself for it. Just keep showing up. Keep speaking, even if it feels uncomfortable. Just keep taking these small steps. That is how fluency is built. All right. Awesome. So my dear learners, tell me, how did you feel today? Did you notice even a small shift? I would really love to hear from you. And if you completed today's practice, just write "done." Not for me, but for yourself. To remind yourself, you spoke, even when it felt uncomfortable. Keep going. Your voice is learning to feel safe. This is Tara, and I will see you in the next session of your English speaking practice.